The resort world of Gehenna was once the jewel of the Dominion's crown. Today that jewel has cracked, metaphorically and by lava. The planet's only hope, 16 commanders whose workers must refuel the stabilizer. Let's join the mission, already in progress. Welcome back, everybody, to the Brightworks, where today we are reminded of Donny Vermillion's sacrifice, bravely covering the fallen world of Viridia, who was saved by 2 commanders. Today, we're going to be watching 8 commanders battle another 8 commanders. Wow, in quite an artistic battle across the face of Gehenna Rising. For those of you who haven't seen this map before, this is a bit of a wild one. There's a little bit of a secret twist that occurs. I'm gonna go ahead and clear the map. There's a little bit of a secret twist that occurs later on into the map, and so we'll cover that as soon as we get to it. But for the meantime, look at these paths, right? What a weird map. You can see that everybody has their little spawn box, right? Every one of them gets to spawn in their own little sector, right? Each of them gets their own little spawn section, and they're going to be going up against 4 commanders aside. Now, interestingly, the red team has decided to put Mickey Mouse in his funhouse right in the middle of the map instead of spawning in this little area. So it does mean that I guess the eastern side is going to be imbalanced towards the blue team, whereas the middle of the map is going to be imbalanced towards the red team. I guess it depends where Mickey Mouse decides to contribute his forces, but certainly it's possible that the red team could lean some sort of an advantage towards the western side and break over there. Spawning in the southern corner, making another debut on our channel. Well, not their debut, but making another appearance on our channel. It's going to be Griff. Griff submitted this replay in the Brightworks Discord channel, which I will have a link to, as I have in every video, to that Discord channel down below in the description section. In case you're wanting to join up, it's the official place where you can submit replays in case you have an epic match that you'd like to watch. I come through those all the time looking for the very best games to watch. Feel free to send your submissions down south there. A little bit of a medium true skill lobby. We've got people ranging all the way down to 4 in this lobby, so it's a bit of a friendlier one. But uh-oh, commanders. Our seismologists believe the coming lava surge is breaching the mantle. Terry, this is boring science stuff. I'm not reading this. That and many more are quotes from the very own Donny Vermillion. I've got a whole list of things that I'm ready to read as this match goes on here. But as you can see, seismic activity has made sure that the lava has risen. Looks like we already have a commander death, as it does appear that an Armada commander has died to the rising lava surge in the bottom of this map. That's going to be, whose commander is that? SS Din has lost his commander to the lava that has risen up to the midline here of the Gehenna Rising Ridge. A constant threat that you have to be wary about. These metal extractors on the low ground are valuable, however, they do get destroyed when the lava rises, of course, so you have to be quick to claim them, and you either want to disassemble them or just plan to rebuild them. More lava coming soon. I don't believe you. Admit it. You're desperate for attention, Terry. Now, I wonder if Blizzard's going to copyright strike me for stealing Donny Vermillion's quotes. They're just so memorable. How could I resist? Especially on a map like this with rising lava. It's something that we don't see in a lot of maps on Beyond All Reason, but something that I definitely feel like would make a huge, or should make a more significant appearance, is maps that suffer from interesting terrain deformations, like scheduled terrain deformations like this, where you have lava rising or oceans rising or maybe ground falling apart and crumbling into an abyss or something like that. Scheduled events are very, very cool. It does mean that you have to sort of memorize the map, right? But it does allow you the opportunity to play around the environment a little bit more, which can be, yeah, I mean, it can be a pretty cool little treat. There are a couple metal extractors on the high ground. In fact, there's a lot of metal extractors on the high ground that you can claim if you're wanting to play on this map. I mean, you're going to need some metal somehow or another, and one of those ways is to get these metal extractors out here in the middle of the map. There's, of course, these ones, which are very risky because, well, lava surge could come up and break them at any time here. This entire caldera fills up with lava. It is the source of the lava, I am informed by our seismologists, by their nerdy channels. Angry Strawberry pushing down on the southern section here, but a little bit of a run by apparently going to happen here by Faulty Toaster. It looks like he's posturing for one at the very least. Yeah, a couple of grunts could probably run through here. There is a light laser tower, but I mean, 1 or 2 of the grunts might die, but a couple of them will make it through and could certainly do a little bit of damage to Angry Strawberry over here. I definitely don't think there's enough static defenses to repel a big army of grunts. Thug here taking a decent engagement. These grunts are relatively grouped up so that AoE is splashing over. Aggravator gonna get caught by some of these grunts too. Not bad. They're on Rome, so they're going to... Oh no, they're not on Rome. They've just been ordered to kill. Shoot to kill, boys. Middle of the map, controlled by Juniper and friends right now, as well as Imdat. Mickey Mouse just worried about controlling the middle of the map, building all of their base on the middle section, which does not get flooded by lava, which is very cool to see. It's all controlling high ground. That's what this entire map comes down to, is who can take control over the high ground quicker. Usually that player is going to be the one in a little bit better of a position here. A little grunt versus pawn engagement. I do like that the grunts have the high ground. I think that's going to be very valuable for them. Griff building a forward vehicle, or forward bot lab rather, way over here in the middle of the map. He does have his other one still working, but he is shutting down production over there and eating up all that metal so that he can transition to producing on the forward ground here. Don't mind that whatsoever, because you're gonna need a way to get units across, right? There's no bridging the gap when the lava does begin to rise. I'm not sure exactly at what time interval the lava does rise. I think it's every couple of minutes here, every maybe 10 or so minutes. I'm not sure exactly, but I know it rises enough that you have to be cautious about it. It does not rise frequently enough that it's not worth getting these metal extractors, though, so we certainly should see these being claimed. The geothermals, that's a little bit tougher to justify. Those are quite expensive, especially in the energy sector. It'd be very difficult to get one of those up and running in the early game just to have it lost to the lava surge. Now, you could build a bunch of build turrets and maybe try and keep it alive in the lava, but who knows how well that might work out. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the lava surge so I can whip out another Donny Vermillion quote here. Agitators grouping up on the high ground here, getting ready to disassemble any of the static defense. Fighting on the low ground here, very risky. As soon as that lava starts to rise, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. I do believe there's also a sound effect. I wonder if we'll hear it here. There's a custom sound effect that's associated with this map, I do believe. This area locked down very nicely by that player. You can go ahead and read that for yourself. Our light blue player, whose name I could not even begin to comprehend. Grushin over here on the eastern side as well. We do see Faulty Toaster engaging this with a whole bunch of aggravators of his own. Aggravators, that's right. Aggravators firing away. There are a bunch of resbots over here keeping this commander healthy. Ooh, not that healthy though. 3% left on that commander. Wow, that commander getting real low here. Ooh, those rockets coming so close to that commander. One more good connection and that commander goes down. Just 14 HP remaining on it. Certainly could have gone for the kill. Faulty Toaster wondering how the hell that commander managed to escape with its life. Angry Strawberry needs to get that commander off the front lines ASAP. There's just no way it's going to be able to hang out in the middle of the map anymore. Well, in the middle of the eastern side anyways. Juniper and friends has done a great job of claiming all this, but all of this goes away when the lava starts to rise, so you have to be a little bit cautious holding the low ground there. Mickey Mouse a little overextended at the time being. For now, it does mean that Cloud Dexter, oh, it looks like this player actually dropped out. So Cloud Dexter now in charge of 2 bases here, getting a T2 constructor, going to start upgrading those metal extractors. Looks like over on this side, yeah, this is the base that was handed over, rather that wasn't claimed by Mickey Mouse. So instead, this base is going to go to mostly David Blade. Street Magic. Or Street Assassin, maybe? Angry Strawberry trying to hold on up here. He's got the commander. Commander is very low on health. 21%. That engagement was very, very costly. We do have air players in the backline here, going into a couple of bombers, going into a couple of other units back here. A couple of scouts would probably be pretty good too. We do see fighters out already to protect those bombers. Transports carrying around T2. I really like to see that. Handing out T2 to anybody who might need it. Case in point, Angry Strawberry, of course, who's got their base back here, and the air player on this side, meaning that there was no tech handed out on that. So it's really nice, actually, that yeah, our orange player over here, who went up to that T3 or T2 rather really quickly, did manage to get those T2 distributed across the map. Very nicely done. I feel like I've been fighting with the music player recently. I keep trying to get it to play music, and it just refuses to play music constantly. Maybe it's time I go in there and add my own music into the mix. Anyways. Aggravators here. Yeah, they're trading, but not super efficiently. Whole bunch of grunts jump on top of these thugs. The grunts themselves is not going to do a tremendous job, but the follow-up thugs from David Blade are going to be pretty decent here. going to allow for a little bit more long-range harassment. Aggravators also firing away at those thugs, doing a decent job of whittling them down. See them getting a couple of kills here. Resbots incorporated into the mix, though, are going to eventually patch those back up, barring they don't get destroyed on the front lines like they are right now by those rockets. Never mind, Resbots go down, and that is quite nice here for the red team. No longer are they going to be any resurrected undead units lingering on the front lines. Word is that lava is hitting now. Let's go live to the planetary feed. Another lava surge is here. Evacuation of the low ground had better be underway. Lava surge is now underway, and we can see that the middle of the map is going to be one of the last places to flood with lava, but certainly that lava is rising. Didn't hear the announcer say that lava was playing. Maybe that's only what you only get that if you're playing in the game. These units need to evacuate. Oh no! The lava is boiling away under their feet. Will these commanders notice in time, or will all be lost to the lava puddle? Juniper and friends taking a massive hit. That commander going to be recoiling from all those lost units in the middle of the map immediately. Good news, my geos leave Rex. That is good news, so you can resurrect those. That is actually really good to know. That makes it a little bit more viable to go for those geothermals. You can just repair them after the lava surge, but certainly a pain to deal with that. We don't deal with atmospheric or you know, map-based conditions all too often in Beyond All Reason, so a lot of commanders are not all too familiar with them. StarCraft 2 from friends will remember the Donny Vermillion. What was that mission called? Oh gosh, what was it called? The Vermillion problem, that's what it was. The telltale rumbling has begun. I expect we'll be seeing a lava surge soon, and a big one. Donny Vermillion is so iconic. What an absolute, he's the commentator that I really want to be. Definitely my idol. This is boring science stuff, Terry. I'm not gonna read all that. I love that they knew damn well they were recording a voice line for a real-time strategy game, and they had the balls to say, this is boring science stuff. I'm not gonna read all that. Absolutely lovely. Now the metal extractors are all wiped out, so we're gonna have to rebuild all those. A lot of these commanders receiving a little bit of a debuff to the economic sector here, as they no longer have any sort of metal production on the low ground. Is going for advanced metal extractors worth it? I wonder if they leave behind wreckages. If they leave behind their own wreckages, then I would probably say yes, because you can just go resurrect them after the lava surge. But if they don't leave behind wreckages, then probably no. It's probably better to just slap a regular one down there and probably call it a day. Looked like that was at about the 11-minute mark, maybe, yeah, probably 11, 12, or 11, 10-minute mark, something like that. Might be the frequency we're going off of here. Every 10 minutes, the lava starts to rise. Whoa, Hero Gunslinger has managed to break into the backlines here. Angry Strawberry does not have forces to deal with us at the time being. Yeah, that's Clannock putting a Gunslinger in a really powerful position at the time being. Yep, gonna burst down that fusion reactor. That's quite nice to see. This is huge. We need to deal with this immediately. Gunslingers ranking up can become very, very deadly, very, very quickly. See this guy blasting apart anything that he's encountering over here. There is a light laser tower. He probably has enough range to outpace that laser tower at this point. Trieg is trying to kill him, but Gunslingers do beat commanders. They're very good against commanders, actually. This is a bug that was brought up recently to my attention, was that Gunslingers' range increases as they gain experience. However, they, does get the D-gun, 8% away. I think he was about to go down there. Miracle D-gun, a little bit of miss micro there from Clannock. Definitely could have gotten the kill. Their range increases, however, the reticle that indicates their range does not, and so they can vastly outrange a lot of towers that it does not look like they actually should be able to. David Blade benefiting greatly from that change of pace here in the middle of the map. Juniper and friends losing their entire army effectively for free here. I mean, that's a huge hit to the army composition of Juniper and friends. Moving to a forward bot lab, I should say. Very, very nicely done. It's going to allow for a nice little bit of unit production on the front lines, is what we're seeing from a lot of these players, and it seems like a decent idea. Yeah, it seems like you're going to be able to pump out units a whole lot quicker than before, where you were essentially having to walk them across the lava fields, not to mention the dangers of walking your units across lava. Lava hurts, that's for sure. Agitator almost finished over here for Griff. Yeah, gonna finish that up shortly here, 97% of the way through. Working on pumping that very last bit of metal back into that bad boy. Coming up on a fusion, or coming up on a finished agitator here, and that is going to shell away quite nicely from the high ground. Backline, we are up to T2 Armada bombers. Can be quite powerful. Another gunslinger sent across the map. Really love to see it. You got to get these gunslingers into combat, but you also want to try and keep them alive at all costs. So dipping them into combat and pulling them back, never a bad idea. I love that it's just wandering the lower salt flats here, making sure that there's no lingering static defense or lingering units or anything like that. David Blade says it's GG already. We do have Sheldon firing away on this low ground over here. Bomber's going to be, I mean, actually getting a decent connection on all these Centurions. Centurion and Mace is not particularly quick. And yeah, actually taking some decent hits right there from those bombers. It's not, it is rare rather, that bombers manage to get a decent connection against units. But yeah, Sheldon also taking some significant damage. Nicely done there by the air player here for the blue team. Gunslinger pushes up this ramp and does, well, start to get to work on some of these units. There is a Twilight there. Going to EMP everything over here. Pause that Gunslinger. At the very least allowing for time to deal with that. Bombers are sent across the map to bomb down Faulty Toaster, rather. Toasty Falter. It's a different player, different name. Gunslingers are the name of the game, though. They're just going to keep coming out, and they're going to keep whittling away the defenses here. That's just a little bit too much aggression. There's too many fronts to spread out against, and with Mickey Mouse on a different front here, that means that there was 2 lines that David Blade had to counter, and he just didn't have the right units in the right position to deal with that. Now this Gunslinger is getting into the back line. It's ranked up. It has 1 chevron under its belt. It's going to start ranking up pretty quickly here as it starts to dismantle a lot of this economy. A lot of experience is granted for taking down these economy structures, so this is going to go down pretty quick. Going to take down the T2 Air Lab. That's nice. Shut down that production for quite some time. Kill whatever it can back here. Pops the energy converters. Very nicely done. There are some planes trying to shoot it down, or trying to eat it down, I should say. There we go. Pops all the build power. The explosion damage will kill the constructors, or at least some of them. Triggs Commander again in trouble from a gunslinger. He does manage to kill the gunslinger there, but it won't matter as the commander also dies. That is a lot of damage right behind Angry Strawberry, who is now dealing with the front lines. The blue players controlling the majority of the middle of the map here, and this is looking like a decisive blue victory. Despite that, the economies are actually fairly even here, fluctuating quite rapidly based on economy, or based on reclaim here, but you can see both teams lingering around 250 metal per second when not reclaiming. It is very nice to see that they're reclaiming. A single tremor has been built here as well, and it's going to be supporting the front line with that hail of bullets that they are oh so lovingly able to fire away with. Mickey Mouse moving the commander in, has an excellent chance for a D-gun here, manages to cleave some of that army in half. Those thugs are going to be forced to recoil off that line. Mickey Mouse getting a little too aggressive there. Oh, almost overextended and lost the commander. Manages to save it, but that is tricky. Sharpshooters now brought to the lines, accompanied by gunslingers. Gunslingers the perfect front line because they regenerate, right? So even if you shoot at them, even if you do some damage to them, they're still going to regenerate after just a little while. Able to deal with fiends pretty well too because of the impulse on their guns, so they can stun those fiends a little bit and make them take a little bit longer to get out onto the field, making them very, very effective here. Sharpshooters blasting away at whatever they can. Trying to, missing their shots, but trying to take an efficient trade here. This gunslinger doing a great job of whittling down all these forces, though. A gunslinger will eventually go down. A sharpshooter goes down. That's a nice little pick here, but there is still one incorporated into the mix. A lot of anti-air incorporated in this mix as well, so we are going to have a hard time dealing with this with any sort of airplay. Shurikens, bombers, gunships, any of that sort of thing. Another gunslinger headed towards the front line. Sharpshooter trying to fire away. It's looking for a good target. Commander, of course, a pretty good target. I'm going to fire at the fusion reactor instead. Gunslinger does see the commander there as it runs out of power. Fusion reactor will be stopped in the back line, and that is Angry Strawberry in a bad way. Uh-oh. Here's the lava. Watch the low ground, viewers. That's where the action is. 18 minutes in, so maybe it's every 6 minutes that we see the lava rising. Maybe every 8 minutes or so. I'm not exactly sure, but the lava is rising again, folks. That's going to kill a lot of those low ground structures. Geothermals remain, but nothing else will sustain after this lava flow recedes eventually. Are there any other ones? Oh, there's lava surge ending quotes. I can look at those too. Hold on, I've got my list here. We're hearing that the lava is receding. Wait, hold on. We're hearing that the lava is receding and the race to reactivate the stabilizer is back on. Lava will eventually recede here. It stays for a couple of minutes and then it goes away. It will, maybe not even a couple of minutes. It might stay for almost exactly a minute before going away. I do wonder how you control that. I wonder what file controls the lava surge. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to be able to let me know. I'd love to know. I know map making is a bit of an eccentric skill, to learn how to do in this game. So it's a tricky one. Our map makers are beloved for putting up with all the shenanigans that you have to go through in order to make maps. I'd be much more happy to commission a map than I would be to learn how to make them myself. I think it would probably just go a whole lot smoother that way. Gunslingers here, firing at a lot of the structures over here. It looks like for the time being, Triag is wiped out of this game. Angry Strawberry has also been shut down. Commander is dead. T2 factory lies in ruins. There's a little bit of static defense that was trying to be built here, but it will not come up in time. This little composition has waddled its way through and will start picking apart any of these buildings that they come into contact with. Gunslingers being the name of the game here. These Gunslingers getting some tremendous value out. This one is a Silver Star General, and you can see it firing away. Single construction turret trying to eat it up, but it can actually out-regen the turret. That's quite funny. Gunslingers have a critical timing, but if you can hit when that timing is right when T1 is still prominent, but T2 is just getting underway, the first 2 or 3 Gunslingers out could make a huge difference. Commander goes down in the middle of the map. That is going to be Mickey Mouse. The fun house is no longer, as that commander explodes into a million shards and there is nothing left to support it. Sharpshooter also firing away at full capacity here. Trying its very darndest to get a decent trade here. Not doing a bad job either. Shooting down whatever it can. Gunslinger going to start whittling away at the static defense as well, and that is the northern side completely cleared out for the blue team. There's still some units here for David Blaine. He did switch to a forward lab, but that's a lot of economy no longer going into the red pockets, and you can see now the blue team pulling in nearly 400 metal per second with the red lingering behind at almost, well, 200 when they're not reclaiming. Reclaim is quite powerful though, not to be underestimated. I like to think that the lava moves the crystals around. Terry says that's unscientific. Don't listen to Terry. Terry is the antagonist, certainly. Donny Vermillion, our hero. Yep, Gunslinger firing away here. Gold Star Gunslinger. Very powerful. There is a lot of fiends moving in, though. Eventually, this Gunslinger is going to be whittled down, I do believe, by these fiends pushing forward into it. I don't know, though. It's pretty powerful. Take down 2 of them. Might get a 3rd. Oh, he goes down, but not before taking down 3 of those bastards with him. He is going to manage to kill some of that reinforcing army coming out of Mickey Mouse's now abandoned facilities. No longer is Mickey Mouse around in this game. Most of the red team has declined to play any further, and it looks like this is coming to the end of this match here. Red player has also tapped out. The final orders of his commander are to assist this lab. He's going to be pulled away by this fiend that is begging for a repair. And it's going to expose that commander, certainly. The red team on death's door, and we are watching a well, not quite a decisive victory. Certainly a massive victory, but decisive isn't exactly how I'd call it. Certainly a strategic victory. Those gunslingers picking apart whatever they could, getting immense value up here in the northern side of the map. That was very nicely done here by Clannock, but also the aggression in the middle of the map cannot be understated. It was quite cool to see the lava taking out so many units right here in the center of the map. That's a cool little clip. That might be the thumbnail for this video. You will probably know that before I do. Commander does go down over here, taking down this forward facility. Not that it was really being used by anyone. At this point, the red team is just holding on for dear life. Unit production is well underway by Cloud Dexter at the time being, or for the time being, rather. A lot of Sheldons and Agitators, but not a lot of frontline units. These thugs should probably get their butts in gear here, move out onto the front, try and deal with some of these fiends that are pushing forward. Not the end of the world, that's for sure, but decent trade from these hot pink units, yeah. Shutting down a lot of those aggressors, to say the very least. Griff's commander in a little bit of trouble, but he does manage to clean most of that up. D-Gun will shred apart any of those aggressive units, and we are going to see Sumos start waddling their way out onto the front lines here. What will the red team do to make up for this lack of units? Will their lackluster economy be able to keep them in the game? Will they be able to stabilize the planetary stabilizer? All this and more brought to you live, viewers on the Brightworks. A direct hit from a lava spout. Younger viewers may want to turn away. Whoever they hired to do Donny Vermillion's voice acting, kudos to you, good sir. You did a phenomenal job. I can only hope to imitate, but it's nowhere near the actual performance. Truly one of the best RTS performances we've been ever gifted with. I'll have to study Donny Vermillion for voice acting. Certainly a case worth analyzing. Persecutors were built up here on this hill, and that is really nice. Those persecutors hit hard, especially up on the high ground, raining down those shells. They are definitely going to do a lot of damage. A lot of AoE on their effect, but also capable of just, I mean, immense destruction here. D-Guns killing a monumental amount of those sumos, all of them, in fact. Well, all but one that did go down to the Persecutor there, but most of those sumos did go down from Griff's D-Gun. Very nicely done. That's going to shut down a large portion of the aggression here, waddling its way out of Cloud Dexter's base. The southern side is crumbling, though. Sheldon starting to whittle away at Angry Strawberry's second base that they've got under their control over here. We do see Razorbacks being produced out of the backline player, Hippoculter, who did tech all the way up to T3, but at this point those Razorbacks are really the only thing holding this line. Everything else has gone down, including the commander here, which took down most of those buildings and scuffed up all the units that were standing around over here. Razorbacks eventually get into gear here and start to actually aggress against these units. They could have saved that commander if they moved a little sooner, but they did not manage to, and that's going to be the death of that base. Middle of the map is also falling. Angry Strawberry has taken over the base that once belonged to Mickey Mouse as the Czars roll in. Heavy hitters, those Czars, they can fire that long-ranged heavy plasma projectile, and it does a ton of impulse damage, a ton of AoE damage, pardon me. It destroys effectively anything that it aims at and whatever's standing within 20 feet of it. They fire a high-impact shell, high-energy shell. Perfect for clearing out bases just like this, and you can see that that's one more base going down here. The red team on its very last legs. Now there is a Razorback making its way downtown. It will fall down. Wear no crown. It's homebound. There we go. Wrapped up that rhyme. For more rhymes like that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I bring you funny word sandwiches, or maybe, well, word sandwiches nonetheless. Hope you enjoy my word sandwiches as much as I do. Always happy to share those. Impulse Bombers here are going to kill the Agitator, but also going to bring down the Razorback. I think bringing down the Razorback is probably a lot more important than bringing down the Agitator there, so I guess I don't mind that trade. Not bad whatsoever. However, these Razorbacks are needed all over the map. We're going to need T3 in every corner of this map if we want to hold back the push that's leaking out of I'm Dot now. Tiger tanks pushing into this base. They are going to pop all of the energy converters. The fusion reactor is looking real low. The advanced fusion reactor just as well. And that is going to be a massive explosion, taking out all of the forces here. Looks like the red team decides at that moment to call it quits. GG is called, the blue team taking a decisive victory here on Gehenna Rising. That's going to be all, folks. I do hope you enjoyed the devastation. Looks like the blue team is going to take decisive control over this once lush and victorious planet that has now fallen to the lava ruin. This has been Donny Vermillion's best impression from the Brightworks, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.